All right, so I was having a good time looking at these, right? Because as you know, we've been discussing this thing about the possibility that maybe if the SAR scan technology is indeed reliable and they did find something, some sort of structures underneath, we've all been trying to figure out if it's true that there is stuff in there. We wonder what it is. What can it be? And now clearly a lot of people went into the sci-fi aspect of this, like apparently there is this. Well, maybe not. Some people are going very architectural about this. I mean, this could be pretty cool. Look at that massive Anubis. Although then again, the sci-fi ones are my favorite. Do clip this, by the way. I hope that they find this. Would be. I am so excited for this to be dug. Now, given I have spoken about the conference at length on these two videos here, and as you know, I did not like the conference one bit. I think the three speakers were Biondi was okay, but Armando Mei and Corrado Malanga, I think, are terrible speakers. Their conference was horrible. I don't care if people hate me. I tell you what I think. I do not care that it offends people. I watched the entire thing. It was extremely unprofessional, and particularly Corrado Malanga. I've been looking at some of the stuff he said online, and not credible. Not credible. In my humble opinion, of course. With that being said, that doesn't mean that now I'm going to say that there is absolutely nothing under the pyramids given. I don't think this is the most likely possibility. But once again, if you dig, and there are these pillars that perhaps are made of titanium with glass spiraling around them, glowing energy. I would love it. I would love it. I really hope that that's what it is. It's just that I'm trying to apply Occam Razor in this situation. Now, I have said multiple times that Occam Razor is not a perfect tool or device. The idea that the simplest explanation is the most likely. Maybe not. Maybe it's not one. Sometimes the Occam Razor fails, that the most complex explanation was the correct one. We do have to at least try and apply it for intellectual honesty. And the idea that the pyramids were some sort of power plants or they were used like this, for instance, like this is all great, but it is not likely. It's not probable. It's possible, but not probable. Because I can't debunk the idea that maybe aliens visited us. Who the heck knows? But it is not likely. So my opinion is, in this situation for this video, before new evidence comes out, then we could start discussing more about the sci-fi stuff. That perhaps the science fiction, and maybe we get to remove fiction for some of the science fiction. I would love that. But before we do that, in light of the fact that we're still waiting on the actual excavations, let's try and apply Occam Razor and come with an idea, with an hypothesis that it's a bit more believable than what the Corrado Malanga, Armando Mei, and Filippo Biondi stated. They could still make logical sense, assuming that there is, in fact, something underneath. So to make my position clear, Malanga believes this is aliens. They seem to also believe that these are pillars that were built to support the structure, but then they also believe that it's the city of the dead, the Amenti underneath in there. This is their statement. That's what they believe they have found. But they don't know if that's what they found, because when you look at the scans, particularly, see if I can find the pillar one. Pillars. When you look at the actual scans and they kind of look like elongated and they're like, oh, these could be the pillars. Here they are. It's not like it's telling you what it is. This is still an interpretation. I'm willing for now to remove all skepticism just for the sake of argumentation and say, yes, there is something in there. And I'm also willing to go a step further and say, this stuff is not natural. It's man-made. It's artificial. In my opinion, it's probably a mix of both. But let's just, it's limestone underneath, and we do know that there are cave systems that do occur naturally inside limestone. But let's say that, yeah, some of this does look like maybe it is man-made. So let's, for the sake of argument, say that this is artificial. Before we say, however, that these are pillars with glass spiral cases that create maybe energy for an underground power plant that connects to the realm of the dead and all of this kind of stuff, or that it's used to support the weight of the pyramid, how about we consider the possibility that maybe these were mines? Let me expand on that. In the history of mankind, we don't have any situation that we can point at where we have massive 1.2 kilometers of depth pillars used as support structures for megalithic, pyramid-like architecture. We don't have that. And even more so, we don't have that with high advanced technology, of course. We can't point to it. However, what we can point to is extremely deep mining systems. For instance, this is a list of the deepest mines in the world. A lot of these are in South Africa, some are in America, India, Canada, and you see 4 kilometers. So this is twice as deep. And compared to this, 648 meters and then 1.2 kilometers, so 1,200 meters underneath, as the findings show, wouldn't be so crazy to believe, because we have something that is 4 kilometers, 3.9 kilometers, 3.7 kilometers, 2,000 kilometers, 3,000 kilometers. We have a lot of these very deep mines. Oftentimes they're gold, sometimes they're uranium, copper,